Welcome back to the show. Now, before we get into our major topic today about online dating, we do have some very interesting topic to talk about. It's called H. pylori, and we'd like to say a very good morning to Dr. Vajif Sultanov, a consultant gastroenterologist of St. Petersburg Technical Academy. I hope I said that right. And Datin Swanite, who's a pharmacist. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Tell us, what is H. pylori all about?
I think if I start this, Vagif. Yeah. H. pylori is a bacteria that is prevalent in about 50% of the world's population.
Okay.
It lives in the stomach, and it's a very hardy, very smart bacteria. By residing in the stomach, it has ensured that it gets fed every day.
Okay.
And what it does is it causes chronic inflammation in the stomach as well as the gut. And if this is unattended to, or this bacteria is allowed to persist,
sure.
This gastritis will develop into ulcers and then into a atrophic gastritis stage, which is a pre-cancer stage. Now, stomach cancer is the second killer cancer in the world today, and therefore we do need to be very aware of this bacteria. What it does is it prefers to infect mothers. It learns to infect mothers, and because mothers are the ones...
They're more prone to it?
The bacteria has chosen a host in the mothers. Because mothers have a lot of contact with the household members, she cooks, she prepares the food, and therefore the bacteria has a chance of propagating very easily.
Right, right. So, doctor, I understand if you have a lot of morning sickness and, you know, a lot of migraines and stuff like that, you're more prone, or it's one of the symptoms of H. pylori?
It's definitely one of the symptoms of H. pylori, and usually people who have morning sickness and people who are prone to have migraines, headaches, usually amount of so-called H. pylori in this organism higher than average person.
So it's a form of a bacteria, if I'm getting this right. I'm speaking from a layman's point of view.
I understand.
Do they infect a lot of women out there, or is it the men as well, or is it just more the women?
It's a very interesting question. For someone who doesn't know about medicine can ask such an interesting question.
Curious.
It's a very interesting curiosity, because H. pylori officially announced the cancerogen #1. Because usually if chronic condition with H. pylori leads eventually to gastric cancer.
I see.
It could be cancer of the stomach, or eventually it can finish with the large intestine. And of course, one of the important things today, improve our hygiene worldwide.
Right, right. So it's to do with the hygiene factor here. That's what we're talking about?
Because H. pylori is transmitted, well, people don't really know, although what is sure is it's through the oral fecal route, exchange of saliva. If H. pylori has got into infected food, infected water, that is why developing countries have a lower rate, whilst underdeveloped or developing countries such as Malaysia has a very high rate of H. pylori infections.
So you do have a lot of patients in Malaysia coming to you with, it's also called Helicobacter pylori, right? For H. pylori.
Yeah, H. pylori is a Helicobacter pylori.
Yeah, and so in Malaysia it's common.
Very, very common.
Oh dear.
The only thing is symptoms only appear in about 20% of patients. Symptoms such as heartburns, gassiness, bloatedness, abdominal pain, and 80% have no symptoms unless you get checked and get tested.
But that's a common thing for us. I mean, I was just talking to my producer in the makeup room, and she said, well, you know, if I don't eat on time, then I get a bit of gas and nausea and headaches and all that. So how do we know that it's just a matter of not eating at the right time, or it's actually H. pylori?
But a major problem is the gastrointestinal area. It's not only H. pylori. It's generally, it's a dysbiosis when you have different bacteria and fungi manifest in the system.
Okay.
And plus accumulation of heavy metals, because all these toxic fragments create so-called abnormal environment in gastric areas.
Sure.
And for this reason, especially lately, we have so many gastric problems. Only on top of everything, like top of the pyramid, H. pylori.
I see, I see. Okay. And is it more prevalent for where pregnant women are concerned?
With pregnant women, it's a very, again, interesting question and big question, because as usual, pregnant women feels from start unwell, as usual.
Yeah.
And in our consciousness, we believe, because you are pregnant, you're already unwell. But I don't believe in it, because if you will have precautious attitude and understand what's going on with your digestion, if you will do right thing, how to change your flora, how to deal even with H. pylori, how to deal with toxic elements, abnormal flora in the body. You can do many, many right things to prevent your liver from intoxication and liver putting pressure to your kidneys.
That's right.
And in this case, pregnancy becoming normal like nothing.
Like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
But 90% of women experience some form of morning sickness. Evolutionary-wise, they think that it's a good thing because the body's trying to protect the mother as well as the baby from things that she may eat or consume or expose herself to, which may harm the pregnancy. So it's an evolutionary protective mechanism.
I see, I see.
But when it is prolonged and uncomfortable and it affects the pregnancy itself, life-threatening, it becomes a severe form of morning sickness, which is called hyperemesis gravidarum.
Okay, is that what Kate Middleton went through?
I'm not quite
because
sure.
Because apparently she had really, I mean, those who really have really bad morning sickness, they have to be hospitalized and everything. And is that a form of this?
Precisely.
Ah,
precisely.
okay. So those are the symptoms. But what if you're not pregnant? What are the symptoms of you thinking you may have H. pylori?
All starts with the gut, as I mentioned before, heartburn, abdominal pain, gasiness, but other obscure symptoms as well, Vagiv, headaches.
Well, but the problem is, it's a very, from one side, rhetorical question, why you believe you have H. pylori. But definitely, majority of the population, especially the countries with lower hygiene, majority of them infected with H. pylori.
Okay.
Because H. pylori, it's one of the most interesting, smart, and very resistant bacteria.
Naughty bacteria.
Very naughty bacteria. And for us, better to pay attention to not only H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, for us very important to pay attention to digestive system properly. You must understand what you are putting in, because we are living 70, 80, 90 years, and we are putting everything in, like we are putting everything in a rubbish bin, and you are thinking it must be processed and go out without any problem. It doesn't work this way.
Yeah.
Why we are aging so quickly? Because we are accumulating toxins.
Okay.
When we are accumulating toxins, liver under pressure, kidney under pressure, and after that everything pushes through your skin. Skin dries very quickly, and everything goes back, temperature increases, bacteria activates, and you have any type of symptoms, not excluding severe conditions.
Interesting. So to avoid this from happening, basically we've got to be more hygienic in whatever we do. Is that what you're trying to say?
100%.
And the food intake.
Hygiene and food intake. And understand what you are eating. In Malaysia, because climate different, because tradition is different.
And we love our food here.
Absolutely.
I love Malaysian food also, but you are eating everything spicy.
That's true.
It's a tradition. Why? Because on early days, hygiene wasn't on a high level. We didn't have refrigerations. We didn't have many things. It's a reason. We didn't have medication. It's a reason we tried to eat spicy food to make sure pathogenic bacteria will be killed.
Interesting.
But at the same time, life changes, food changing. We are traveling a lot. We are eating in different countries, different food, and already mucous lining not resisted only to hot food. And in many countries, South American countries, in many other countries, we are eating a lot of spicy food.
Yeah.
Hypertension, cancer of the gastrointestinal area is the biggest problem.
Oh dear, ladies and gentlemen out there, not too much chili then. I mean, we pride ourselves as Malaysians of having an iron stomach, that we can eat anything, street food, pedas food, whatever, right? Spicy food, but we need to be very, very careful. But what about the final question? Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but the treatments that we have for if someone were to get H. pylori, Bioeffective or something like that, right?
Yes, that's part of Dr. Sultan's lifelong research into pine conifer needles, where they have found that this natural substance can actually help to restore the function of the stomach lining, of the whole gastrointestinal system. And we're just not talking about killing the H. pylori. It's important when after you kill the H. pylori, what else is going to happen? Right now, you haven't got anything that can help to actually restore the stomach, and I think Vagiv can expand on this a little.
Sure, please.
Bioeffective, it's a complex which derived from pine and fir needles. They're very resistant species of trees. They survived ice period, and they can live and be always green in -40 to +50.
That's right.
Or -50 to +40, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But in real terms, they're very interesting resistant trees. It's the reason they are creating such a complex of substances. And our teacher and we ourselves managed to extract it in unchanged from nature creation form, which you can take inside, doesn't have side effect. It changes of your flora to positive, kills so-called pathogenic bacteria.
Oh, wow.
And create right environment for right digestion. Because digestion, in real terms, we need bacteria which help us to disintegrate and any type of food, doesn't matter, sugar, protein, and everything, and make it in palatable, digestible, accessible form, which you can get only right nutrients from this. It's not a part of the product which related to antibiotic family.
Okay, so based on the research and the findings you've done, so it's pine and fern, and if anyone were to have this disease, they would be treated with this.
We will be very happy if people will start familiarize themselves with this product from childhood, and they will understand they can live healthy life without running and buying antibiotic, anti-inflammatory substances and steroids.
Bioeffective A is also suitable for pregnant women. It's safe during pregnancy, breastfeeding. So a very good supportive product, not only to...
What's it called?
Bioeffective A.
Bioeffective
A.
A.
That's the active ingredient inside the pine conifer needles.
Perfect. Wow. Thank you for enlightening us. I mean, it's opened my eyes up to quite a bit of things. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but thank you very much, Dr. Vagiv, and thank you very much, Datin, for coming down and for sharing all this with us. I'm sure our audience are now much more informed and will take care of our tummies a lot better. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to go for a very short break.